Hello everyone, welcome to Caroline's Craftery. Today we are doing the 12 by 12 Junk Journal Challenge 2025 hosted by Dawn at Scrapbook Sage. We are coming up to May, and May is kind of my month for what I'm doing. Now if you've watched any of my other 12 by 12 videos and a lot of my other videos, you know 2025 is about using stuff up. However, that doesn't mean I'm not getting new stuff during 2025. But this month, during May, I am going to focus on some craft magazines. Now, my sister recently gave me a bunch of craft magazines. Now, I don't know about where you are from, but here, the thrift stores don't even really want to take them anymore because they get so many and they don't sell. So I decided, I looked through them to see if there was any patterns I might want. There was a couple things, but not too much. So I decided I was going to do something with some of these. So I've cut up a bunch, probably because I've already made some of what I'm doing. But in some of the things, there was kind of like pamphlet type things that have like a little bit more of a cardboardy cover. So I'm using that as my base. And I'm just going to cut this little lip off here. And just snip it off. But we are basically going to just do some collage sheets out of this stuff. I'm going to use this for my back because then I have the option to either back it or not to back it. So let's put that there. I'm using one of the magazines as a glue book. Let's just try to do a little rearranging here so make it easier. Oh, just threw all those on the floor. Okay, we are almost ready. So I've got a bunch that I've torn up, used for different things. And I'm going to just start gluing these down. Now, I don't do anything special. It's not like collage has just been invented or anything. I hope you can see where I'm gluing here. But I'm using these glue sticks. They are Amazon Basic. Now, Kim Newberg told me about those. And it's actually, I like the glue stick. And she also showed in one of her videos, in lots of her videos, she uses the cap and pushes it down. Now, to me, that is an ingenious idea. Let's put one of these down over here. Now, I'm not too worried about what way the writing's going or anything like that. I'm just going to put these down. I like using different types of writing. This one here, I am mostly using patterns out of the book, like the written knitting or crocheting patterns, etc. Let's put this big one up here. But you can do, of course, use any part of the book. I've already done some of these. I was playing and I got sidetracked, and next thing you know, I had a whole bunch of them done. But I just wanted to show you what I do. Now, in reality, I'm actually quite new to this collage board stuff, which I know might sound strange, but it's actually true because I couldn't find a glue stick that I liked. And using a white glue is very time consuming. But now that I found these glue sticks, and I learned this little trick from Kim, it sure makes it a lot easier. Now there's a bunch of these colored patterns in the books. And they actually look really, really good on these. I tried to put on a fair bit of glue on the back of them because I want them to stick. And I just cover my paper, really, is what I'm doing. Now, I tried to dig out a few different colors, but the other thing that I will do, I try to do around the edge first, but not like totally, but I'll take a few bigger pieces and I'll just kind of scatter those around the middle. Now, it's not really rocket science, but this is what I found really works for me doing these. So I'll put a couple bigger ones in the middle. I'll try getting a couple different colors. And then where I'm gluing on this sheet, I will glue on different spots of it. So one actually lasts a fair while. Because each spot kind of what am I saying? I lost my train of thought. Oh, where I've glued before, then that kind of dries by the time I go to use it again. Actually works really good. I've always used like just a book, and it's like one glue and I've got to change pages, so this works quite well. But yeah, as I say, I'm not worried about the writing going the right way. I know there's not going to be any bad words, which is a plus. Yeah, and other than that, I saved the little pieces for kind of on top. Let's put that one right there. Doesn't take long. I like to do this while I'm got YouTube on the go or something, and so I don't really have to pay attention to what I'm doing. Let's see, what color haven't I done? Let's use one of these. Let's put it over here. And whoops, my glue stick is falling apart. Whoops. Okay, I'll fight with that bit later. I have another glue stick here. These are actually really reasonable priced. I think I bought a case, and I think there was 24 in the case or something. So I've got quite a few, and I usually only use the glow sticks when I'm doing this kind of thing. Let's see, one of these could go down here. I have used a tear ruler. I got this one from the retreat that I went on in March, and it was free. Somebody was giving it away, so I grabbed it. I have another tear ruler. This one does a little more rugged of a tear. But I do like how the different fonts in the different magazines, or even with the different patterns, how it looks. Do we have a color? Let's do a little more blue. I've got some more blue here. I find that doing this does get messy after a while because I got papers like everywhere. But that's okay. Now I will not do all of these magazines because that would just be too many master boards, I think. I mean, there's a lot of pages in one, but I'll save what I don't use. I'll save the rest for like glue page things, stuff like that there. Let's do some more of this older looking stuff. can go right there. And these magazines are not old. They range from the 80s up till, I think there was one that was from 2020, no, not 20, must have been 2012 or something. But yeah, so they're not like old or anything like that. We could put a blue one over there. I love how these little bits with the color, like it's kind of, you know, what you're going to need to make a pattern. And I like that they were different pastel type colors, because they kind of really go together really nice. So then we've got some of this gray looking stuff. Let's put one big piece up over here. I usually always start with bigger pieces, and then kind of as I go up in the layers, I will then do smaller pieces, fill in the little spots and whatnot. But even if I have little bits of holes in it where I haven't actually put stuff, I'm okay with that. Oh, actually, that's a good sign. I'm going to use that sign. But I'll show you the ones that I've done. Now, if you haven't checked out this 12 by 12 Junk Journal Challenge 2025, there is a hashtag that you can click on to bring up all the different videos. But please do check out everybody's channels. Let's put one of these right here. And I'm really just slapping these down. I kind of decide beforehand where I'm going to put it. But I don't really plan it either. I do like to rip up a whole bunch of papers though and do that. Let's just put that one there, just at like a weird angle. And as you can see now, we're starting to get into some smaller pieces, and we'll use it to fill in the gap. Let's put this, I like that with all the numbers, so let's put that one right there. But I've done a couple using like pattern, like cross stitch pattern and crochet patterns, but not a written one. The diagram ones, I made some boards out of that. I made one just out of the ads. Losing all my words today. There we go. Let's see what else. Let's put that one there. So do you use magazines for collage pages? Like I say, I mean, I don't think I've even used magazine pages yet in anything. If I did, it certainly wasn't in a big way. Just because the only magazines I've really collected have been like really, really old ones, which no reason why that wouldn't work too. Did push fairly hard on this lid, but it works so good because it's smooth and it's sitting right here. So I've just got this little bit in the middle now to do. Do we have something that we haven't used yet? Not really, so let's just use some more of this. I do like this older looking paper. And the magazine that came from was probably a bit older. I'm getting to the top, let's use another one of these brownish colored ones, I guess. And then once I cut them apart, I can do pretty much anything. And what I'm doing for my second video in May is we are going to chop these up and we are going to do something with them. Now I have this piece here and it's got all these crochet bits on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tear out a couple of those. And I'm just going to rip little strips of these, kind of just like that. And I'm just going to put a few of these around to break up some of the bigger pieces, like just where I think needs a little bit of something. So it just kind of adds a little bit extra. Now, of course, these are going to get cut up, so who knows what it's going to look like, where these pieces are going to end up. But we are just going to put some of those around. Just randomly, upside down, sideways, whatever. Let's do some more. And it just gives a little bit extra, I think, gives a little extra dimension, I guess, to the whole masterboard. And of course, by the time I decorate them or do whatever, who knows how much of this you're actually going to see. I don't even know how I'm going to decorate them yet. I do know that I'm going to use my scraps. I've got a little container full of bits and odds and ends of lace. I have a little jar type thing that's got like, say there was only like one or two of a certain kind of bling left, or you know, maybe a flower that I found on my desk after I had done a project, that type of stuff. So I really want to use up what's in there to decorate all these. And that is what I am going to decorate them with. So I think that is good. And I just like the way all those fonts and everything look. And like I say, I could back it with just some tea-dyed paper or something. I'll decide that when I'm actually going to make something with these. But I could just leave it like that. It'd go great like in any kind of craft journal or sewing journal or that type of stuff. But I'm going to make probably another 10 of these. But I just wanted to show you the ones that I have made. I haven't trimmed them up. And they're all done on the fronts of a harder cardstock cover. This one was with the ads. I kind of like it, kind of don't. I'm not fond of all the black and white, but by the time I decorate it up, it should be fine. This one here was one of the ones that I did using the patterns that were in some of the books, which is kind of cool because there's so much going on, but it's not like really bright either. So I like that. There's another one done with some of the cross stitch patterns and some of the crochet patterns, etc. And another one done like that. This was done, I tried to take ads that were showing like strings or wool, something other than a pattern or a picture. And then I added a few pattern pieces just to kind of, I don't know, probably because I didn't have enough of the other pictures. This one's done kind of the same. And then here is one done with all the written pattern stuff, which I really do like these. I like the way they turned out. I like the pastel colors. This one here, I just took some of the titles for some of the projects and just put a few on the top in the little bits and pieces. And then the one that we just did. So I do like how these turned out. It's a good way to use up magazines. Not like I say, it's not like I invented this or anything. I just wanted to share how I do this, how I was going to use up some of these scraps using these magazines that my sister gave me. So with that being said, part 2 of this is going to be dealing with these masterboards, making some tags, embellishments, belly bands, stuff like that with them. And I will kind of mass make those, I think. I'll cut a bunch of tags, I'll cut a bunch of journal cards, I'll probably lay them out on the table and then just put a piece of lace on each of them, get a focal point on each of them. What I'm going to use, I don't know yet. But these are the people taking part in this 12 by 12 Junk Journal Challenge 2025. If you're kind of taking part, following along, and you're doing projects and stuff, no point in why you can't use that hashtag as well. But like I say, do check out all of the channels. There will be a list in my video description as well. So please do check that out. It's been going good. I have to admit, I have been following behind. I haven't gotten anything out for April, but I hope to. And yes, I'm making this one sooner because I want to make sure that I'm on time for my May one, being that I'm kind of the host for that month. So if you want to play along and do some masterboard type things, not that long ago I took part in Hazel and Aka Designs March Madness, something she called it. I'll leave a link to her channel below. It was all about collage. Masterboard Madness. That's what it was. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. So check out everybody here. Check out the links below. Go check out my shops. Come visit us on Facebook, etc. And we'll see you in part 2 very, very soon. Bye for now.